learning has 5 dimensions that we can talk about. The first one being that meaningful learning is active. Students would be observing, using tools, manipulating objects and their environment. So things like having kids go outside and work in a garden, or we built a pumpkin catapult would be a good example of an active learning kind of activity. Meaningful learning is also constructive. It gives students a chance to reflect on their schema, to take experiences that are new to them and integrate it into their own learning, giving students a chance to think about how they think. Meta thinking and metacognition is a huge piece of constructive learning. So having students reflect on pieces of writing that they've done perhaps, or an activity, what went well, what didn't go well, would all be constructive learning as well. Meaningful learning is intentional. It is goal-directed and planned. Thinking about the process of a project, thinking about the interim steps, how do you get from point A to the end? It doesn't just happen. You have to kind of break that down and troubleshoot along the way and plan for the unexpected. And meaningful learning is also authentic, taking theoretical aspects and actually applying them to the real world, doing things like simulations or case study activities, embedding theoretical aspects into applied situations, hands-on kinds of situations. And finally, meaningful learning is cooperative. This is our big focus, obviously, for this project. How do we use our technology tools to work in groups to achieve particular aims? Using our tools to build knowledge and build communities, capitalize on the strengths of all of the members of the group as we do meaningful tasks. So those are the 5 dimensions of meaningful learning.
Aurasma is an augmented reality app which uses smartphones to find content in the real world. In order to create an aura, as they call them, you have to have 2 parts. You have to have a trigger image and you have to have an overlay. And most of the overlays that we've done are video content. In order to create a new overlay or a new trigger image, you merely have to upload them from your computer. To create an aura, you come to My Auras, Create New Aura. They ask you to select a trigger image. So I can select the B, and you select an overlay. And then it adds an overlay to that image. Then when anybody takes their phone and views this image, this video should pop up. Students did create last year a literary magazine with the art and their poetry tied to each one of the images. The collaborative part of this comes in with the students actually sharing a channel, create this space online. They're creating a real world space and a digital space and layering those together to create new experience for an authentic audience.
Hi, I'm going to tell you about Wunderlist today. Wunderlist is an app that students could use to create to-do lists for themselves and teams. It's pretty intuitive to use. However, its functionality is a little bit limited. Creating lists is really all that it does. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through creating a new list. I've got my Wunderlist app. It does sync across multiple devices. So I might create a list that says something like department meeting, and I can add people in by email or share it with other people after I've created it. So I might add one of my department members, and then I'm ready to start creating to-dos. So our department might talk about something like our writing center or our finals. You can highlight them, sort of call them out with a tagging star system. You can also set dates and reminders. So, for example, if we need to think about the Writing Center before the 14th, I could set that and save it. I can add subtasks. Maybe I want to say under the Writing Center, location, new tutors. So those would be added in. I can add notes in here, files. I can add comments. So that pops up, and then other people can go in and see them as well. So if I go back here and decide that I want to say, all right, I've completed that, check off the Writing Center, satisfying little ding, and then I can also see what I have actually completed as well. So it is a very simple app, but I think I could see teachers who do a lot of group work either on computers, or I know that our publication staffs have used software similar to this. So those might be some possible ways to use Wunderlist. Sway is a Microsoft presentation platform. Comes both in an app or online. Right now I'm kind of in the online version. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the features. So this is the dashboard that you get when you are creating a Sway. They call it your storyline. You get cards that can have different types of media on them, images, videos, audio. You can stack up these cards, sort them out, and they will present in different ways throughout. So I'm going to go in here. Shakespeare actually only wrote 38 plays. When you go to the cards and things, you can take a look at what it looks like, get a little preview. You can either scroll or swipe. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top of mine. This would be my title card. Information here. You can even embed media, so I've got a clip from Taming of the Shrew there. You're able to design cards, remix cards, change the layout and design. You can add other people to it, share it, include other people to be authors. It has a really nice set of tutorials. So this is just kind of another tool that students could use to add to their arsenal. Sway actually lets students either play them through, or you can decide what device that you would like to export it to, or how it will appear on different devices, so it works across multiple platforms. So that is kind of Sway in a nutshell.
One of the apps that we looked at for collaborative learning was Live Binders. It's very easy to use and it's very easy to sign up. You would just start by going to livebinders.com. So once you've logged in or signed up, it'll take you to this page, and to create a new project, you would go to New Binder, and you would just put in whatever name you want to use, description, and you can make it either public or private, which is great. You can either collaborate with a few people, such as a project like this one, or you can make it public if you want anyone to be able to use it or access the information. And you can create an access key in order to share your binder with others and allow them to collaborate on it. And then to add content, you would hit Content. And another great thing about Live Binders is that it gives you lots of tutorials as you go on how to use it. It's very user-friendly. You can upload from your device, you can upload from a website, you can add text. It's really great for any kind of resource sharing. Any resource you can think of, you can add it to Live Binder. So that's what makes it really great for collaborative learning. Wattpad is another one that we looked at, another app that we used for collaborative learning. As you can see, it's used a lot for fan fiction, especially in the YA area, which is both a strength and a weakness for the app. It's strong in that it's great because it piques interest of that age group, and it's relatable, but it also can be limiting as far as what kind of work you're trying to create. So this is another free app that is very easy to sign up for. To get started, you would hit create. You can create a story by either writing within the app itself, or most people usually write and then upload. So you give it a title, any kind of description, let's say fan fiction. Oh, and this also gives you a lot of hints and tutorials throughout on how to use it and how to get the most readership. And you can choose different languages. And then other people can critique your work, and it's the same like LiveBinder, where you can choose to make it public or private and share with a select few. And they can read and add notes and critique your work. So it would be especially great for something like some kind of creative writing class.
The last two apps we will be reviewing are Google Docs and Minecraft Education Edition. Google Docs is a platform for students to create and edit documents. It is a free, robust word processor, so students can use Google Docs for individual or group projects. Where Google Docs really shines is as a cooperative learning tool for students to work collaboratively. Multiple people can edit a document, and the edited documents sync immediately, so students can work together in real time. Google Docs allows you to track participation so that you can make sure that everyone in the group is participating. Some concerns to be aware of with Google Docs are privacy issues and internet access. Students need to be taught to log out after each use. Also, students need access to the website in order to save their work. This can be a problem if the school's internet filtering software blocks the website or if students do not have reliable internet access at all. Aside from these concerns, Google Docs is a great way for students to work together. The last app we are reviewing is a lot of fun. Minecraft has been a popular game with children for many years, and now there is an educational edition. There are several ways that this game can be used for meaningful learning. Students can be active learners by creating and manipulating their own worlds, and in the process they learn about math, science, and other subjects. Students can engage in cooperative learning by inviting other students to join them in the world they created. In addition, instructors can create or download worlds. For example, in history class, students could virtually explore the Hanging Gardens or another historical place. After exploring, constructive learning can take place as students reflect and articulate through writing about their experiences. Even though there are some great ways for students to learn through Minecraft Education Edition, there are also a few concerns. It can take some time for teachers to learn how to use the program, and also the classroom computers need to be up to date. A final concern is that students might have so much fun playing the games that it can be difficult to redirect some of the students to other classroom activities.
Now Comment is a collaborative reading space in which students can easily interact with the text and work collaboratively to create meaning. The interface is very simple to use. Any student that wanted to comment on a sentence can really double click and it pulls up this dialog box in which they can write a summary of their comment and the full comment. Once they've posted the comment, they show up here in the right hand side, so we can click on a student's comment. It will highlight the sentence they're talking about. Students can reply to those comments and start an entire dialogue in order to construct meaning from the essays. It seems to work a lot better than the classroom reading, which usually relies on me telling them what to think. I have jumped in occasionally to show them how to make a comment or to push them a little bit farther, but the conversation has really been created by the students. The group voted, and we decided that Now Comment was the most powerful of the collaboration apps that we saw. I think part of the reason is because it focuses on reading, whereas most of the others do focus on writing. But it's also probably the most reflective of all of them, since the entire right-hand side of the screen over here is for the students to reflect upon the reading that they've done. Other students can comment to them, so it has that collaborative aspect. And of course, reading is something that you do every day, so it's definitely authentic, intentional, because you are trying to get to a shared meaning of the text, a shared reality of the text. We chose Wunderlist as the weakest, and not because it's a bad app. It's a great communication tool to keep people on task, and as I started looking at it, it would have been a great background app for the work that we were doing.